If you want to share the mental load with your husband, sometimes you have to let him fail. And I want to share a real life example with you of a time where my husband failed when it came to the mental load in our relationship. And for context, I am Paige. I talk a lot about the mental load and unequal division of labor in marriages and parenthood. And each week I am sharing one small shift you can make to build a more equitable partnership and share the mental load. And today we're talking about letting our husbands fail. And it's going to be really hard to do because when we're really good at something and we know everything about it, it's hard to watch them do it wrong or to do it badly. But we've got to let that happen because that is how they learn, that is how they grow. And again, we're only talking about men with good intent, not weaponized incompetence. So I want to talk about these snow gloves for a second. You might be wondering, what do snow gloves have to do with the mental load? But they do have everything to do with the mental load in this story. Last year around this time, I got an email from my kids' school. My husband and I both got the email, but I was reading it like so many women do. And it was telling us we had to bring all their snow gear to school that week because it was going to be snowing and they were playing outside. And I was in my home office while my husband was cooking dinner, and I said, babe, later tonight I have to pack all the snow gear for school tomorrow. Can you just help me get it all together? And he said, of course, not a problem. Happy to do that. Now, for context, we had been working on the mental load and the division of labor in our marriage for a while now. This was probably like a year, 2 years in. And so he was like super active in participating in all the things. And so I said this out loud and he thought, let me take that on, which I love for him. So I went and picked up the kids from school. He was cooking dinner. And when I got home, all the snow gear was packed, which is amazing. And I said, hey, babe, great. Thank you so much. That is so helpful. And he said, yeah, I just want to get that done. Check it off the to-do list for you. And so it should be all set. And I looked at him and I said, amazing. Thank you. Can I just ask, did you put labels on everything? And he said, no, I didn't. I said, okay. You do have to put labels on every single thing because otherwise it's really easy to get lost. You'll lose the gloves, you'll lose the boots, the snow pants, the jackets, everything needs labels. And he said, honestly, I had no idea. So we're gonna have to pull it all out and label it. And I said, not a big deal. Later that night when we were doing it, I said, hey, I don't mean to be nitpicky here, but I just wanna talk you through the strategy when it comes to the snow stuff. You packed everything in canvas bags that you get for free places. These are not big enough. The email says that the kids need to be able to independently pack and unpack, and you have this packed like Tetris. No way the kids are gonna be able to do this again. So we need bigger bags, and they need to be waterproof. They can't be this canvas material. They're gonna get destroyed. And the interesting thing here was he failed essentially, right? He took on this task, he did the task, but he had no idea about the mental load that went into it, what he had to know, do, and understand to actually accomplish the task in the way it was meant to be done because he'd never done it before, and I've been doing it for 5 years. And so I shared that information with him. He failed, and I could have let him totally fail, right? I could have let him send that off to school, get an angry email from the teacher, lose some gloves, have to buy new ones. We could have gone through the whole thing. But instead, we worked together, we did not fight, and I said, hey babe, this is what I know about this stuff. And he said, amazing, thank you. I had absolutely no idea. It would have been very easy for this to be a fight. It would have been easy for me to feel resentful and frustrated with him for not knowing this stuff, and it would have been easy for him to get defensive, but that doesn't get us anywhere, right? We have all failed at things along the way, and it's important to let our partners fail at things, and if we know more than they do, share that with them. And this year, when it came time to do the snow gear, he didn't even wait for the school to email. He had it all ready, he had it all labeled, he had it all packed up, and he said, babe, we are ready for snow at school. And I didn't have to say a single thing because I let him fail last year, and then I told him what went wrong. We talked about it, we shared, we didn't fight, we didn't have a big blow up argument. We just figured it out, and now this year he did it by himself. And so if you want to share the mental load with your partner and build a more equitable partnership, you gotta let your husband fail sometimes.